Hey guys, Nicole here with Job Hunt Solutions, and my video today is to answer a viewer question. So Daniel from University of Toronto, Mississauga actually had two questions. One was about student hiring and waiting for the interviews, what one can expect. And the second one was for internal candidates. So that's really going to be broad for a lot of people. So the first one, let's start there. So for campus recruiting, for many organizations, campus recruiting is a fundamental part of their talent acquisition strategy. Campus recruitment has 3 cycles throughout the year. There's an intake in May, an intake in September, and an intake in January. So during that time, there's usually a predefined formula as to when the campus team will go on to university campuses across the country, when they're going to have interviews and post jobs, and when they're going to have offers out. This will vary from company to company, but they're pretty much around the same time. So if we know when the intake is, we can almost reverse engineer to figure out when are they going to be doing interviews. It'll probably be around the midpoint of those time frames. So they'll be doing some interviews in March for the intakes in May. They'll be doing their interviews in July for intakes in September. And then they're going to be doing their interviews probably October, November for intake in January. I realize that it can be excruciatingly painful waiting between applying for a job and getting an interview, especially for a student, because that can take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. But really, it's a matter of being patient. If you already have a contact within the organization, then you can reach out to them, maybe just to re-express your continued interest in the role, but it's not likely going to speed things up. They're on plan. Now, as for the second question with regard to internal applicants and the interview process, for people who are internal to an organization and applying to a role, there is usually a bit of an advantage there because the candidate already knows a lot about the company and the culture, and may also benefit from being more resourceful or having the ability to be more resourceful within the organization, just through their own network internally, and they may know someone who knows the hiring manager or the recruiter, and it's sometimes easier to build relationships. So definitely use that to your advantage. On the other hand, the thing to really keep in mind if you are an internal candidate, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a shoo-in for the job. So there could be other internal candidates that you're competing with, or the company may decide to use a strategy of bringing in external talent to really be able to mix up the diversity within the team itself. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're a shoo-in. And I've actually seen internal candidates in interviews that I've interviewed myself who come across as almost arrogant because they think that they are a shoo-in for the job when they're in the competition as much as anybody else. Although, of course, there's definite advantages to hiring internal people, and it's usually in the company's best interest. So my word of advice here would be really just to treat this like any other job interview and use and leverage the resources you have internally with the organization. So thank you so much for your questions and comments, guys. Keep them coming. I would love to hear from you. Please subscribe to my channel. Any other questions you have, you can leave them in the comments below. Send me an email, link in with me on LinkedIn, check me out on Facebook, or you can check me out on Twitter. All of my information is below in the comments. If you are viewing this outside of YouTube, come on over to YouTube. You'll be able to get in touch with me so much easier. Thanks so much, guys, and until next time, happy hunting! Now, campus recruitment does occur in 3 step. Doesn't help, does it? Oh, itchy nose. Do I have red now? Oh.